You're doing? Hope you're doing all right. It seems that the light kind of gives me some sort of Nosferatu face, but maybe it's a mobile phone because it looks very, very white. And in any case, this is the last day of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. We did it, and so time to burst the bubble, so to speak. And today I just wanted to just have a little rant, a little chat about some impressions I got from the festival. I may, in retrospective, do another video, but I'm not sure about that. But right now, it's the last day, last performance. I was supposed to finish tomorrow, but I actually gave my slot to another company because they were in dire needs. And I've been trying since May, so I could do without a day. And what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to watch shows, and also just get ready to depart and fly back to Italy and stuff like that. But yeah, so we did it, and it feels strange in a way, but my mind really is already in what is going to happen, on what is going to happen in September, October, the fall, winter, and stuff like that. And since COVID, literally my life in particular has been like a movie, literally a movie. So, and that's one of the reasons actually I am doing this vlog, just to show, what's been happening. I think it's just good to share in a professional way, not in a narcissistic way, but like with the intent of helping other people, to share this experience. And one of the things I found, in general in my life, I did not have anybody to talk to, basically, because I live in a very small hamlet in the middle of nowhere. So everything I did, I really did it out of my own strength. And being here in a situation like Edinburgh or Avignon or wherever you are, it just gives you, and I think that comes a number one in whatever I do, but it gives you the possibility to network, get to know other people, share experiences, and by and large not feel like the odd man, the odd one out, so to speak. Okay, so I don't know who's watching this. Maybe you're watching this from Australia, Russia, New Zealand, Colombia. I mean, I don't know, but it's not easy to be a full-time artist and a working actor. And I mean, this is really a tough job. And the people that stay in the long run, in a way, have developed some kind of an entrepreneurial spirit, I would say. And when I speak about this, I speak about the person that really wants to do this full-time as an artist on the stage. Theater does not have that glamorous or celebrity factor as television or film does, and so on and so forth. Okay, but that's all right. So let's concentrate. So some thoughts about the Edinburgh Festival in general. Yeah, my intention is to be back here, and you gotta understand this. I do this professionally, so it's one of those. Last time I was here was like 12 years ago, but I just realized it's just good to be here, even if we're just for a few days, just to watch shows and absorb something new and stuff like that. A lot has changed, and but before I speak about something like down to earth and something at the individual level, let me give you an example of the big picture for a second. One thing I noticed here in Edinburgh, there was a showcase of Korea. I'm not sure. I think there was a showcase of Taiwan. For the first time ever, there was a German showcase with 4 shows. But China was completely absent. Whereas in Avignon, and I told you that probably in some other videos, from 2018, 2019 up to today, China, the presence of China has grown considerably to the point where in this edition of the Avignon Off, you had, I think, 12 Chinese shows. It could be more, and you had like a heavy presence of the basically of China as a country. So there was like a proper Chinese showcase. There was a consul of Marseille. the Chinese consul in Marseille that came to see this show. The title of the show is The Legend of the White Snake. I hope I remember correctly, which was played in Chinese without subtitles. Just to give you an idea, okay? Now you may say, all right, but I don't care about this. I want to come here and do my own show. But if you come here professionally with the idea of touring, you got to project yourself into the future. To me, it just felt like something really bizarre, and the reason is geopolitical. Basically, Great Britain is in this sort of military alliance with the United States in order to contain China. So I'm sure that when the people in charge of promoting the arts in China look at Great Britain, they say, we don't want to go there. Okay, just to give you an idea on how these festivals can have some kind of geopolitical importance as well. Okay, and this is important because China is gonna, I think, is gonna become a major player in theater in the future. It has a big flow as far as storytelling is concerned, I think. But that's for another video, all right? But if you're speaking about skills and skills and the capacity of Chinese in general to do theater, I think the quality is increasing steadily. And this November I was performing in what I think is the biggest theater school in China. There's a competition between Beijing and Shanghai, but anyway, the name of this theater school, it's the Shanghai Theater Academy. Just to give you an idea, so you get a big picture, okay? 6,000 students, 4 campuses. The campus where I performed had 4 theaters. The smallest one, 200 seats. The biggest one, 800 seats. And they teach everything there. Everything from choreography, set design, dance. Theater is not just about the guy beyond the stage. It's much more than that. So light design. I mean, the venue where I was performing was all basically automated. So the light technician did not have to use a ladder. Everything was, each and every light was robotic. So you could just, set the lights and direct them from an enormous console, an enormous lighting mixer that looked like, it reminded me of the movie Star Trek, okay, which was like enormous. And there was this 22 or 23-year-old Chinese girl. She was like, from right from the film The Matrix or something. I mean, she was using this incredible console. I don't know what she was doing, but it was a spectacle in itself. Just seeing the light design. So that's something I noticed. Avignon really striving to internationalize. I think Edinburgh in a way is still pretty much absorbed in the so-called Anglosphere. So they're not looking outside. They basically don't care. Maybe rightly so. I don't know. I'm not judging, but that's a major difference. So, and it will play down to the fact, I think, in the future. I'm trying to project this like 10 years from now. 10 years is a lot of time. Okay, that as the collaboration between France and China maybe becomes stronger and stronger. Maybe I don't know. I'm just taking a wild guess here, but Avignon will become more important face to Chinese theater. Just give you a couple of hints there, and then we're going to speak about stuff that for the man on the street, so to speak. Okay, but I remember that I think last year Macron went to China, the president of France, and he went there with Ursula von der Leyen, which is the head of the European Commission. Ursula von der Leyen was basically discarded because the Chinese thought that she wasn't important at all. But Macron was really, I think, cuddled, and yeah. So I think, I can see that the side effect, the avalanche effect of this also playing a role in theater. Like I said, this is show business. You think about theater, you think about music, you think about dance, you think about filmmaking, you think about the arts in general, and I think China is going to come up very strong. Very strong. I mean, we're just at the beginning here. I may be wrong, like you said, but if you think that the second most studied language in Africa is Chinese, We don't see it because we're in the West. Okay, we live in our own bubble, and I think bubble, the concept of a bubble, is a good concept to actually carry on with this conversation. Okay, so there are dangers. When you live in a bubble, there are some dangers. The dangers are that you live in your comfort zone, you feel protected, and whatever is outside of the bubble either scares you or you're just unable to cope with it. And Edinburgh and Avignon are two big bubbles, but I think Edinburgh even more. It just gave me that impression. And so right now, my mind, for example, this is finished. Okay, so emotionally for me, okay, finished. I had my goals. I'm gonna speak about goals. This is gonna be a long rant. And my goal was to test this show, take it to all these festivals, and basically getting it ready to fly on its own. And now it's flying on its own. So I go to venues, for example, that go in touch with me from Italy. I do this full time. So I said, okay, I'm ready to take this show. And this year, for example, I'm touring, and I speak about evening shows. I also play a lot of shows in high schools, just with 3 shows. And in the future, I'm gonna continue with this blog first of all, okay? But I'm just gonna do it. I don't know, like whenever I feel like I want to do it. And probably what is gonna come next, I'm gonna shoot like an episode, a video for each show I produce so far. It's also good to remember for me because I've written so many I can't remember. And this year, this season, I'm gonna write another 4. So you can imagine with a 5th maybe coming, but more to that later. So yeah, the intention is like this is a backstage, and whoever's gonna watch this either is very interested in theater or just not gonna watch it. So I don't think I'm gonna have many subscribers. Having said that, so I said the concept is the bubble. So there's an Indian proverb that says, if you're looking for the thrill, get ready for the depression. And I think this is a spot on proverb regarding Edinburgh and these kind of experiences. That is to say, if you're here for the first time, and I'm lucky enough, I've done lots of stuff, 6 years Avignon, I went twice to the Bridal Fringe, 3 times, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember, three times the Prague Fringe, so I traveled a lot, did lots of festivals, Vietnam, South Korea, you name it. But if you're here for the first time, and you are in this bubble where everything is really exciting. It's just exciting. I mean, everything's happening so fast. There's so much noise in Edinburgh, and you see so many people. And this is not something that happens in the average life of a person. I mean, you stay here for 2 days, and it looks like 20 days because you have so many experiences. You did so much that it just feels that a day was just like infinite. Okay, and as soon as this bubble evaporates, for example. This place, I'm going to show it to you again. By Tuesday, this place will be a parking lot. So it doesn't exist. Oh, this is fake, like as fake as it can be. So if you really believe in the bubble, so to speak, there's going to be a withdrawal symptom, which is very dangerous. So first piece of advice, and I'm going to speak about, I don't know how to title this video, but it really should be advice for people that come here for the first time or something. Advice. Advice is a big word. Yeah, things I want to point out. Advice. I mean, I got the experience. So I think I can give a good advice. But anyway, if you come here for the first time, you actually believe this. You come here with a lot of expectations, and you have this fantasy in your head that this is going to be a game changer for you and stuff like that. There's a strong possibility, statistical, okay, mathematical, that you're going to be disappointed. And let me give you the stats. 98% of the shows that come here in Edinburgh, I read that in the New York Times, okay, actually don't break even, okay? So that's the stats. So I think setting for yourself realistic goals just helps you to enjoy the experience. And it's very important you come here and you don't get stressed. I mean, you will get stressed, but it's important to have good stress, okay, not bad stress. So, for example, in my venue, we had a show falling out because one of the actors had a nervous breakdown. Okay, that happens. I don't want to dwell too much into that, but like I said, mental health can be a big issue here as you're doing this non-stop, 3 weeks, you're under pressure, maybe you invested some money, stuff like that. So, like I said, if you come here, come zen, empty mind, enjoy it. It's gonna be as hard as hell, but it's pretty much like climbing a mountain. And if you are into mountain climbing or hiking, I do hiking a lot. I mean, it is painful, okay? But it's a good pain. Then you reach the peak of the mountain, and breathe a bit of fresh air, and you kind of want to do it again. Okay, so that's good. I'm saying it's good. You can have some good stress here, but if you come here with the with the wrong expectations, it can get you very down. So that's the number one. So again, with the bubble, then you know, this is going to disappear. There's going to be a parking lot, and all of the people here was at 3,000 shows, 3,500, 4,000 shows are going to go back to their life. Some of them are not even professional. Well, a lot of them are not full, full day actors. So they go back to their life in London, where they came from. I actually don't know. I saw a show, an extra of a show yesterday of somebody. It was like half Thai and half American. So she came here with this story, personal story, stuff like that. All right, and so try to have a long-term view if you come here, and try. Oh, it may happen that something fantastic is going to come out of your experience in Edinburgh. Okay, I don't want to rule that out, but like I said, statistically, the odds are against you, and I don't bet. I never bet. This is one rule I set to myself in life. I don't gamble. Okay, so don't come here as a gambler, because that's a big mistake. Okay, statistics are 98% of the shows here lose money. Now, if you ask me, have you ever lost money on your shows? I would say, in the long term, never. So, maybe I remember when I came here in 2012, sorry, I'm trying to remember, it was like a long time ago. I think for the venue I spent, it was the Space UK, 1,800 shows. I spent, and that I remember correctly, and I think it's, unheard of nowadays, but I spent like £400 for a room in this apartment. I'm a very patient person, so I just waited. I was offered a place for 1,200. I refused. Another one for 800. I refused, and then eventually I was able to find a place. Really, literally 3 weeks before I arrived here for £400. Okay. And if you look at the accounts for that edition, then you could say yes. End of the run, August 2012, I lost money. But then if speaking to me long term, with that show, I toured a lot. And I recouped all the money. And that's happened pretty much with all the shows I produced. So I tend to, for me, a show is like a baby. It grows with time, okay? And that's something incredible about live theater. Whereas a film, you shoot the film, either it's good or bad. With theater, because you're live on the stage, every day is a different one. The audience changes continuously and stuff like that. Shows are like babies; they kind of grow up, okay? And so, yeah, I mean, I don't remember any experience I had where basically because all the shows they pretty much toured, okay? Now I came to the point where it got so many that I'm gonna cut out some twigs, because maybe go shows with 2 or 3 actors on the stage, cost too much to tour. So I'm gonna put them in a freezer. You don't even get rid of them, you just put them in a freezer, unless there is a specific reason they become old, okay? Some stories become old, pretty soon. So, I don't know, I remember, speaking about films, when was that? When there was the American invasion, let's call it for what it was, invasion of Afghanistan. There was a movie that came out. I think the title was Letters from Kandahar, but I'm not sure. And it was a big hit in Italy, because, like I said, there was story Afghanistan. People wanted to know about it. But today, the same movie, if it were played today, it would tank badly. So what I'm saying, theater plays, as films and so on, have a lifespan, okay? But pretty much the ones I produce have a long lifespan, which is good, okay? So yeah, so that's the story. So I would say do not focus solely on the fact whether you're gonna make money here or not. But first thing, get a piece of paper. You want to go, you want to go to Edinburgh, you want to go to Avignon, get a piece of paper. And I think number one is to write down your goals, what your goals are. This is very important because I would say, I don't have the stats, but 90% of the people that come, even more, 95% of the people that come here, they have no goals whatsoever. They just come for whatever reason, okay? And I think it's very important instead just to get a piece of paper, write down your goals, okay? Let me give you some examples of goals. Well, I want to hone my show. That can be a goal. In that case, depending on the goal, you got to adjust the trajectory of what you do. So, if you're honing your show, you really don't want to get too many reviews reviewing your shows. You're just here to hone your show. Then you say, okay, this is my goal. I'll do the free fringe. That's what I did, okay? I don't want any reviewers. Free fringe, okay? Another goal can be, well, I want to build my first solo show. I want to get out of my comfort zone and see how, what it feels like to be on the stage for 3 weeks in a row continuously. That's what I did in 2012. So my goals were very simple. I had 3 goals. I actually put it down on paper. Said, number one, I want to do my solo show. That was my first solo show. The title of the show is The Superheroes. You can find the script in Italian, I think, on Amazon. Pretty much all of my shows are binary. They either exist in 2 or even more languages. Okay, so Mussolini, for example, I played it so far in English, Italian, German, France, and I would love to play in Spanish. If somebody out there is interested, I was going to play in Spanish before COVID, but then COVID hit. So in 2012, my goals were, I want to do my solo show, I want to meet a lot of people, I want to have fun, and I wrote another goal which I can't tell you. Sorry, it's a taboo. Anyway, can't tell you everything, guys. Maybe I'll tell you if you come and do a workshop of mine in the future. Okay. So, and all the goals were achieved, and then I actually toured with that show. I came back to Italy, toured with that show. You did not have the chance to do it again in English like other shows, but if I would, I could. If I could, I would. Whatever you want. And but and also I would say there are sub goals that kind of popped up spontaneously. So one of them was like self-esteem. Once you're able to do your own solo show, and you can carry on with it for 2 weeks and stuff like that. The second comes naturally, and the third one, and the fourth one, and so on and so forth. Okay, it really is a question of breaking the barrier. This year, for example, the first time I did a show in German. Okay, I was terrorized. Okay, but I used a psychological technique just to calm down, and I did it. So right now, my goal, and I set goals for just the side of the festival as well. So my goal for this year, for example, is to promote the version in German of this show, Mussolini. I'm gonna write 4 shows and grow my main YouTube channel. That's another goal. And another goal I have for this year is to finally edit a documentary which I shot in 2020, okay, about cyberbullying. And being here in Edinburgh was a major inspiration for that. But I will not tell you that because I'm digressing. So like I said, just write down a piece of paper and focus on your goals. Do not focus on money, because that's a big, big mistake. And you're gonna tell me, oh my goodness, but how can I do that? It's very expensive. Well, there's way around that, okay? First of all, you gotta ask yourself, what are your priorities in life? Now, this is my job, and of course, this is my number one priority. So I am investing, so to speak, time, money, energy, and so on and so forth. But this is a job I've chosen. Take your responsibility. All right, doesn't matter, I try to save money wherever I am. I was not in the official brochure because there was no need for that. That would have cost £340. I said to myself, well, why do I need to be in the official brochure? I don't care. I'm gonna come back next year, maybe invest some more money. I need to prepare the show and stuff like that. But don't focus on the money. Just focus on the goal for a second. I think the universe will give you a hand. Okay, because if your goal is clear, then all the rest, if if your final destination is clear, it's just very easy to get there. If you don't know what you do, that's why I'm saying people, some people come here maybe for the first time, they don't have any goals, they get lost. Okay, but having a goal really sets the direction. So you want to go from London to New York. Okay, your destination point is New York, and then you say, all right, I can take a plane, I can go by boat. Can't swim, but I don't think it was a good example. Anyway, but maybe you can swim. Who cares? And but what I'm saying, once you have your goal, then your direction is quite clear, and then you can worry about money afterwards in a way. And you can decide to come here just for a week, depending on your goal, stuff like that. Okay. So that's number one. That's the first thing which I think I would say to somebody that wants to come here and do Avignon or do Edinburgh. Just jot down on a piece of paper your goals. Don't worry about the money. Just don't worry. It's a big mistake. And if you look at big entrepreneurs and stuff, people that actually did major stuff in life, sometimes they started very small, but they had that vision, that big goal. Okay, set that to yourself. Another thing is prepare for mistakes. I make mistakes every day. And the secret is do as many mistakes as you can, but never repeat them. That's the secret, basically. I think Oscar Wilde he said that experience is the name that we give to our mistakes. Okay, so you want to gain a lot of experience. To gain a lot of experience, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. Try to be, have a good relationship with yourself. For example, I made a mistake, in my case, choosing the venue because it was not very central. Who cares? That's all right. Next time, I'll just, focus on that and I'll be more careful. You make it, no matter what you do in life, you're going to make mistakes. So don't go into what I call the self-flogging mode, where you say, "Oh my goodness, could have done better." If you should have, could have, are tenses you should never use. Should is good. I should do that is good because at least it's rooted to the present. Okay, but if you could have, should have, no, just forget about that. The reality is what it is. Remember this: some shows in these fringes are very successful, but they don't work. They don't work. Some other shows, and I've seen them. Okay, are really, 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 really unsuccessful. And one of the guys that actually won the Foster Comedy Prize in 2012 was a guy who I had a pleasure to drink a beer with. And he told me that the first year he arrived with that same show in Edinburgh, that same show. After 2 minutes, 50% of the audience will walk out of the room. He actually did the free fringe. So what I'm saying, don't quit. That's another piece of advice. Don't quit, because if you're doing something very original, chances are people will not understanding. Okay. Now, of course, you cannot, it all goes down to one word, and the word is entertain. Entertain. But so you gotta entertain your audience, even if you do a tragedy. Even if you play the saddest story of the world, you gotta entertain them, which is the concept of entertaining people. I should look at the etymology of this word, which is it's the same in Italian and French. Intrattenere. Trattenere in Italian means to take somebody, to actually hold a person. So I would believe that entertain, I'm taking a wild guess here, means to hold the people glued to those chairs, to those seats, to those chairs, and follow you in your story. A great show I saw here, I'll give you a title, was Born in the USA, Living in Vietnam. It was a solo show, very well written, Okay, it was not a comedy. It was a show about Vietnam and so on. But I think it was very entertaining, as we could follow this story, and we just wanted more. Okay, so you gotta entertain. I'm sorry, you gotta do that. If you come here, with this sort of narcissistic perspective, like I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell the most interesting story of the world. Well, you come here, and then there are 4,000 shows, and you kind of realize that your story is not, it's not even original. Okay, but yeah, just focus on that, entertain. Okay, and remember, a lot of shows here are very successful, and then they get out of the bubble. I just go back to the concept of bubble, and they tank. A lot of shows, well, not a lot, but I've seen shows here were not very successful, and then they toured. They actually did well. And I would take myself as an example. Let's see how this show, Follow Me, Shaolin Clown, how far it goes. I actually don't know. You never know. If you knew what your life was like, living the artist life, then everybody would be an artist. But one of the things that makes people not decide not to, do this kind of life, it's a level of insecurity. So, so that's good. Okay, just remember about that. And yeah, I think that's really the advice you need. Just like focus on the goals. Don't worry about money. Another thing which I always do, especially if I'm going to, well, I don't so much, but the first time I came here, I actually looked at the brochure from the year before, and I called the guy. There was like a couple of names, no, and it wasn't even a person I knew. Okay, and I called just to know about a venue. So I called this guy, and it was very helpful. It was Dutch. That's something I did. So just ask around. Comment this video. If you're watching this, it's because you want to come here. No problem. If I have time, I'll answer you, and if I don't have time, I'll make time for you. Okay, I hope you dig that. All right, so that's about it, really. So yeah, I'm gonna keep the channel on. For me, the festival is pretty much over. The bubble really has no effect on me whatsoever now. Long term, what I've seen with artists, I do know a couple of celebrities as well. More than a couple. And what I've seen, the worst thing that an actor can do is to stop creating. I mean, things go really awry. An actor, I'm gonna quote Nietzsche, okay, the German philosopher, is like a funambulist on a rope. If you stop walking, you're just gonna fall into the abyss. So you never arrived. It doesn't matter who you are. It can be Madonna. I don't care. It can be. I know. It may sound maybe excessive, but what was that? Taylor Swift? Yeah. So, sorry. I'm not too much into this sort of Disney music consumerism cycle. So she's not really my favorite singer. But what I'm saying is, in this business, people forget very quickly. They just forget. So 1 year, you're just emotionally, wow, this guy, whatever. The year after, you just don't exist. So that's why you can't stop creating. And I actually had a venue calling me today, yesterday, sorry. And they asked, Tom, you got anything new for this season? Because I played in this theater last year. I did my Mussolini show, and I said yes, of course. And so what I'm saying is, unfortunately, if you want to do this full time, as an actor, producer, writer, okay, so there's a difference between being a hired actor and being somebody like me. I don't want to put myself on a pedestal, but you actually create something. You can never stop working. So I finished this, and I have an idea for yet another show. If I may come back next year, even. I mean, I would like to take my Mussolini show here. That's for sure. But at the same time, I also like to experiment a lot, because you need to experiment to create new stuff. And something I would like to do, and I'm gonna tell it. I think so, everybody's ever done it, but I would like to create a clown show for deaf people because I had in the audience. Well, first of all, I just realized when I was in Prague that my show is suitable for deaf people, but you know, it was like this seed that was planted in my head. And what happened eventually had two deaf people in the audience a couple of days ago, and that made me really curious. And I like to do something for other people as well. It goes back to the concept of entertaining and also helping other people. So, I was the only guy in the venue that actually asked the owner, nice lady, well, do you need anything? So I would, and she said, yes, I need to throw the trash. Can you pick up the garbage bag? And I said, yes, no problem. Just help. It helps you also not to be too much focused on yourself, okay? You can be focused on yourself, first of all, okay? I think a good degree of selfishness is good, but what I'm saying, not 100%. There's another guy I met here, and you know what is beautiful about this festival? All these people you meet and all these stories, some of these stories stay in you. And this guy is a very famous, I will not say his name, but very famous publisher of stories for children, okay? And he doesn't have any kids, so I was very curious. And then he told me that he has this YouTube channel where he raps with swear words and everything. It's something like, so it's what the Chinese would call his dark side, which has to be released, okay? So nothing wrong with that, like I say. But you cannot be 100% focused on yourself. I mean, it will really make you fall into I think a negative cycle, okay? No matter where you are in life, okay? So it's not a question about money at all, at all. It's a question on whether you want to be happy in the moment or not, and it's up to you. Do you want to be happy in the moment? I do. I want to have fun. Fun doesn't mean disco or something like that. Right? It means just enjoy life. And life is I think is a precious gift. My Catholic upbringing comes up with that. Sorry about that. Anyway, so that's it. Yeah, this was a long rant. So I'm gonna stop for I don't know, maybe even a few weeks, or maybe tomorrow I'll be online. I actually don't know with this channel. Wherever you are, I hope you had a nice holiday. It's the end of August. We're all going back to work and living our daily adventures in this funny planet, the third planet, revolving around the sun, in this galaxy, which is called the Milky Way, part of a universe made up of billions of galaxies. And here we are. Just think about that. Isn't that great? Yes, it is. Guys, enjoy life.